Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Monkey Patching Podcast, where we go bananas about toads, Spotify, and more. My name is Murillo. I'm joined by my friend Bart. Hey, Bart.
Hey, Murillo.
I slipped a bit there.
What did you do?
I slipped a bit. I don't know. I was like, we do this every week, but still sometimes I'm like reading the words. I trip on the words or something.
That's okay. That's okay. It's good to see you in person.
Yeah, indeed. But well, last time we saw each other in person was what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But normally we had the interview with Charlotte. Normally we record remote these days, but we're going out for dinner.
Exactly. Maybe also you mentioned the interview with Charlotte was really cool. Actually, we have quite a lot of views so far, but like very, very nice interview about how Flinders fit in the Belgium and Belgium fits in the EU strategy for AI, the UAI Act. We talked a lot about stuff. So another open invite for everyone.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I learned actually quite a few things there.
Yeah. Again, like she's super knowledgeable, super casual talking about stuff. But indeed, also it was very nice to see the other side of how these policies get made and stuff.
Yeah,
so it was very, very cool. Maybe before we start as well, one thing that I learned the other day. I mean, and I didn't know this actually, and I felt like a bit silly for not knowing.
Curious what's coming now.
That the pod in podcasts. Do you know why it's called podcast?
I don't need to make me look bad.
Because I was like, because actually it's from iPod.
Ooh.
Like Apple started this thing, and that's why it's called podcasts. That's what I heard. I heard it on another podcast, but I didn't check. I feel like I hear these things and I just propagate it, but like maybe I should check before, right?
That could make sense, right? Like it sounds logical.
Yeah, it does, right? I mean, otherwise, what's just a pod? I mean, I don't know, but I heard that and I was like, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
That's cool. At least we know what we're doing now, right?
At least now, yeah, we're basically promoting Apple products, old dead Apple products, right? There are no more iPods anymore. But
it was good though, the iPod.
It was good. Yeah, I feel like Apple hasn't really broken the ceiling since the iPhone, right?
It's a whole nother story. Let's get into our topic.
We don't have time for that today. What do we have for today, Bart? What is the first topic that we have?
Our first topic is about Microsoft. A Reuters piece says Microsoft denied a report that it lowered sales growth targets for AI tools like Copilot Studio, even as some customers resist new agent-building products. Shares dipped nearly 3% before pairing losses, and the company emphasized quotas remain intact while adoption and ROI pressures intensify.
Yes, so I don't know if I missed it, but because basically Microsoft is denying this report. I didn't even catch the report that they were lowering AI software sales.
Yeah, I heard about.
You did.
I read about the rumors, and the rumors triggered. But it's very like it's a bit of a blip on the radar. But the rumors triggered like a 3% dip of the stock price, but later recovered. So it was a blip on the radar that was completely gone. Like, and also like to expand on the rumors a little bit. Like the rumors are that Azure salespeople.
Mm-hmm.
It's not verified, but that they are expected to drive 50% growth in Foundry-related customer spend revenue in their patch.
In their region or something.
Yeah. Well, in their group of customers, basically.
How much? What's the percentage?
50% growth.
Considerable growth. Okay. And so when they say AI software sales, it's mainly Foundry.
Foundry-related.
Okay. Yeah. But it's like Azure. It's not like a Copilot.
I think Copilot is actually under there. But I'm not 100% sure.
Like a 365 Copilot, I mean.
Maybe don't quote me on this.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. But in the article, it actually explicitly mentions Copilot sales as well. So I'm not sure how that translates to their targets. Though.
Yeah, because I did see, I didn't get to read it.
And it's Copilot Studio, by the way. Maybe that's where you are. Copilot Studio is where like you have this drag and drop interface to quickly build your own agent that you then can connect with Copilot 365.
Yeah, I feel like they need to come up with more creative names, because there's GitHub Copilot and there's 365, the Microsoft 365 Copilot. So it's like the thing that can generate emails and stuff that is just there. And then there's this Copilot Studio. And actually, even within Copilot Studio, there are different modes. There's one that you can add tools, and there's one that you can do this. But basically, it's like create custom prompts, and then you can do certain things for you. Like can access your SharePoint files and all these different things.
That's confusing.
Yeah, it is. It is very confusing.
But I think the thing why you sought like the effect on the stock exchange is like these these sales, or basically these sales targets, in the end, what everybody assumes is that based on these sales targets, they make their sales forecasts that they also communicate, and that gives you either a good or a negative outlook on a stock. And if basically they can't make the forecast that we're already seen now, then it's that the results are coming are not great.
So basically, I mean, I understand that it's a bad signal, because if they're lowering it, it's because people are not selling it, which would reflect poorly on the company.
Yeah.
And if the company is not doing as well as you think, you would sell that's probably. I mean, I'm
Exactly.
making a lot of hypotheses there, but that's the most likely cause of why
that's
this
the basics of the dynamic.
Yeah, exactly.
And do you use Copilot a bit?
Which Copilot?
Let's say Copilot 365. That's easiest.
No, I mean,
and why not?
Well, so I don't have the license that has embedded in all the stuff.
Okay.
So usually, like, I could use it for like a ChatGPT for work, right? But it's not as good.
It's exactly the same experience.
Yeah, and I mean, I talked to a lot of people, and I haven't heard a single person that said, "No, it's pretty good." Like, it does everything.
To me, the only people that say no, it's pretty good are people that do not have any experience with ChatGPT or Gemini, or that never really explored these things, and just from their employer got a license to use Copilot.
Yeah.
And it's their first entry to the LLM world.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I can believe that it's good is like taking notes.
Yeah.
You know, like, because it's like Microsoft, you like press the button, it's there. Like,
it's in a very connected ecosystem.
Exactly.
It should be connected.
Yeah, I think that the connectivity gives points to that, but as an AI model, there are better ones, I think.
Well, and they don't even have an AI model, right?
Yeah, that's true.
They're
but it's
more or less calling OpenAI, I guess.
Yeah, but probably like an old OpenAI model, right?
Well, they're not explicit about it, so they're probably trying to optimize cost.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But because I did remember like seeing an article title somewhere going by that people from no one's using Copilot, basically. So yeah, maybe just one last thing here. Like, I mean, they put this graph here, right, showing the stock basically and the growth, I guess, and they were showing that Google is ahead. Maybe it's a bit misleading, right? Because the article is about AI usage, but this is just growth in the stock, right?
This is what we're seeing here is growth in the stock this year.
This year, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say something. I think, like, even if, let's assume Copilot isn't the greatest tool, if we assume that, I think Microsoft still has a very strong position in terms of the compute power that they can give to the whole ecosystem. They're very, very strong there. They have a very strong European presence as well, which might become strategically important. I think Alphabet here is off the charts because they do a lot on AI. I think a lot of that is valid. They make their TPUs, so they've become quite good.
True.
They're making advancements in that. I think the whole Gemini 3 thing is way overrated.
Yeah, I do think the Gemini 3 is overrated. And also, like, the Gemini on the Google Workspace is also hit or miss, right? It's not like...
It's hit or miss, yeah.
Yeah.
I think since Gemini 3, everybody's like, now Google has won the AI race, but like, if you're realistic about what came out, like the only thing that's really better than other is that you have an image generator that is good.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's the only thing that's really way better than the others.
Yeah, that is like objectively, everyone's gonna say this is, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think, well, I think maybe still a bit early, right? Actually, if you think about it as well, we talked about the Linux Foundation, I think, last week. I don't think Google donated anything. Well, not covering the article, at least.
That's true, yeah.
Right?
Not at this stage.
Yeah. I know that they came up with like a protocol before, but yeah. So yeah, I think maybe it is still a bit early, right? And I think maybe this growth is not. There can be many things that drive this, right? So to be seen. And next we have, one second. El País revisits the quote-unquote robot tax debate as AI investment soars and layoffs mount, asking whether automation should help reduce lost labor taxes. Economists warn design is tricky. One expert notes labor provides about 85% of U.S. federal revenue, while the IMF favors adjusting capital taxes instead. So this is basically like the big discussion, right? But the topic of discussion is kind of straightforward, right? Like, the premise is AI replaces people that do jobs, and maybe we should tax AI usage.
Yeah. And leading up to this, we already had people like Bill Gates 4 to 6 months ago already like explicitly saying he would be pro taxing robots.
Yeah.
Not specifically AI, but pro taxing robots. This article really goes on like, should we tax AI if it replaces workers?
Yes.
That's the big if.
So what I like about this article is that I do think it's a real problem. I do think
that there will be displacement, you mean? That is a real problem.
I think so. I'm not sure if there will be displacement. I think it's like a problem like that as the world evolves, jobs are changing, some jobs don't exist, and maybe some jobs are created. The world changes, right? And sometimes the thing that with AI, I feel like it moves very fast, right? So the world doesn't adjust fast enough, maybe.
But if jobs go away, whether it be slow or fast, like there will be displacement.
True. So
and the danger of AI is that it will go very fast and that it will have a big impact.
Exactly. And I think I like that there are discussions about this. I like that people worry about this. What I don't like is people say like AI, and what I don't like is that it kind of anthropomorphizes a bit AI again, right? Like if you say like, would you tax, I don't know, computers? You know, like then it sounds a bit weird, right? But I do think like if you look at AI as a tool that, yeah, like any new technology can make people productive, can take out jobs, can do all these things, and maybe there should be a tax on this, right? But the only thing they talk in this article, I mean, the things explicitly mentions like robots and AI. So it does feel like a bit like anthropomorphizing it a bit. But I think the discussion should be broader. Like if there's a new technology that could cause jobs to go away, then should we have some tax mechanism for these things, right? I don't know what you think about that.
I think let's say the pro argument to this is that it could be a good solution for the short-term struggle it creates. Because I think if jobs go away, and I think it's likely that we will see domains where there is more and more automation and that it will go quicker than we all think. And because it goes so quickly, I think there is something to say maybe we need to cover some of that displacement via taxes. In general, long term, I'm very much against it. Okay. Because it's also to me like it's super, even in the short term, it's super impractical. I mean, what is this AI that you're gonna tax? Like, is it a big provider? Is it someone creating a tool for accounting that uses an LLM somewhere and does some automation?
Yeah.
Like it's super vague, like who you're gonna tax.
If you're more productive, like you're not necessarily like people are more productive, so you're not necessarily like people are not losing their jobs necessarily, but kind of is, because if 5 people can do the job of 10 people, you don't need 5 people now. So how do you tax that? And what is like, yeah, I mean, if you say we're going to tax AI, okay, where are you going to draw the line of what's AI and what should be taxed and what shouldn't be taxed? I also agree that it's a bit of a band-aid solution to like, you're not solving the root, right? Like it's still there. And like, there's also the fact like, okay, if you start taxing these things, then maybe companies are they're not encouraged to use AI, and then it's also maybe not good for innovation. It's not good for,
if we tax the users, you mean? Well, even it doesn't really matter, because if it's the producers, like it will become more expensive.
Exactly. Like one way or another, like you're going to discourage a bit, right? Like, so yeah, I mean, we talked about like, again, referring to the interview with Charlotte, we did, right? Like, if you slow things down as well, maybe you fall a bit behind on the progress, right? So how, like, it is impractical.
It's difficult,
yeah.
I'm personally more like long term. Like it's actually mentioned in the article, like the IMF favors adjusting capital taxes instead. Like it's such a hype domain that there is so much these days being invested in AI that I would not be surprised if we are at this moment, like every week we're creating thousands of millionaires. And the reality of that is simply that also the article says like 80% of taxes in the US are taxes on labor. Those are not taxes on people that are wealthy and their capital has capital gains.
I see.
And that very quickly becomes very unevenly distributed. Like even if you look in Belgium, like someone that works every day, the tax on labor, like the tax wedge, like the difference between what you have on your bank account end of the month and the total cost is like 50%.
Mm.
Huge, yeah? And if you have a lot of capital, what you gain through that capital every year, you're taxed like, it will be slightly more next year. And like if you mix a bit all types of financial industry, you may be taxed at 20%.
Mm.
Doesn't sound fair, right?
No.
And I think this you could say maybe 30, 40 years ago, like this we had less wealthy people, but now I think because we have so many huge investments in AI, you're literally like creating millionaires at the moment. Like,
Yeah.
and this difference will only become bigger. Like, and I think that is a better long-term solution to bring that, to bring probably tax on capital gains a bit up, tax on labor down, and have a more healthy balance.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
And then you also have more money in the system to find solutions for people that cannot find a job, etc.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But that would still be a piece, right? Like, I think the ideal solution is still to have, I mean, the hope, right, is that, yeah, some jobs are not going to exist anymore, but maybe there are going to be new jobs, or like things are going to be redistribute, right? And maybe like in 20 years, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, long term, I don't think,
right?
Long term, this is indeed something that has happened a lot of times before. Only difference is that it's super fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's also what I mean, that's also the first impression I had when I was reading this, right? It's like, this has happened before. This will happen again. I think now there are some differences that it is super fast, but I also, what I don't like, again, like I didn't like that it feels like when you say taxing AI, it's like you're taxing a little person that you don't see, right? But it's there. And it's like, you're taxing a tool, you're taxing a technology.
Yeah.
You're taxing the use of a technology,
True.
right? And I think if you were to frame it a bit differently, like the discussions are also different.
Yeah, so that's a fair point.
Right. But yeah, so.
And I think, honestly, in terms of displacement, I think the robots will be a bigger challenge. And I think a lot of people will say it's 30 to 50 years away. I think it's 10 years away.
Actually, I think so too as well. I think it's shorter than most people think.
I think so as well, yeah.
Actually, yeah. I do think it's like, there's a lot of stuff that is possible. I think the main challenge is like, well, one, legislation, like what can these things do? And I think also making it accessible for, like, feasible, right? I think just technologically, if you go to like a very niche lab, you probably do some really crazy stuff, but it's not something that everyone can do. So I also agree with you on that one. What else do we have? This is a interesting one.
Yes. You're looking at me to read. Pirate Preservation Group, NAS Archive, says it scraped nearly all of Spotify, publishing metadata for 256 million tracks and starting to release 86 million audio files via torrents, about 300 terabyte altogether. Organized by Spotify's popularity metric, the dump claims to cover around 99.6% of listens and will roll out in stages, setting up legal fights over mass scraping. That's big news, right?
Yeah. It's because actually the blog, so what we're showing on the screen is a report, right? Like on this news basically, but there was also a blog post attached to it, right?
Well, there's a blog post on NS Archive, but NS Archive is blocked in a lot of countries.
Yeah, exactly.
As it is in Belgium.
The blog was also explaining a bit how they did it, no?
Yeah.
So it was also a bit, I think from an engineering point of view, it was interesting. Of course, like I understand why they would take it down. So.
What do you mean? Why they would take it down?
Like they don't want to.
You mean why it's blocked at a geographic level?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it was already before.
That was already before.
NS Archive is known to have like almost any book imaginable you can think of. It's
like LibGen kind of.
It mirrors a part of LibGen, but it has more sources than just LibGen.
Yeah, but I think this is a next level thing.
Well, it's a different channel, right? Like this is music that they didn't focus on it before.
I feel like there's more money in music than in books, no? I mean, that's the perception I have. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it will also put NS Archive very much like on the map again. Like this is something that needs to be tackled. This is something that needs to be taken down. Like I think for them it's a big risk to
for Spotify. Yeah,
I think it's way more of a thing than having ebooks there.
For sure. I fully agree. I also think that, like, for example, yeah, like, I think even in the end of this article, right? Like, it is obviously illegal, right? So there's probably going to be a lot of lawsuits, a lot of
Illegal, I mean.
illegal.
Yeah.
It's not legal.
Yeah.
Don't do this, anyone. But if it's out and it's torrented, it's out there, right? Like, people can download and can reshare, like the torrent streams and all
Yeah.
these things. Even if they sue and they, I don't know, something happens, like what happens with Spotify, right? Because now all 99.6% of the things that the average person listens is there.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So it's like it's can you put that genie back in the bottle kind of thing, right? Like, I don't know. So yeah, I'm also surprised. Like, did you see anywhere like any paraphrasing on how they were able to do it as well? Because to me, it's also surprising that they were able to do this systematically.
They found a way to get around the DRM, but I don't know the details. No. It's interesting to see the reactions on, for example, Hacker News or Reddit, where they are. I would say they are, for the most part, very positive.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Okay.
positive. Because this is a bit like a Anna's Archive. Like, they position themselves a bit as an activist group, right? We're for the people. We're preserving this for the people.
Yeah.
We're scraping the internet to retain this for history. That's the positive way
story,
to look at it, right?
Yeah.
And I think there's something to be said about it. But I think that is the reason why a lot of people do seem very positive about this. But if this would have been OpenAI or Google, or like people would cry outrage, right?
Yeah.
And Anna's Archive is even like they have a page on this. Like, they're open to LLM providers contacting them to basically provide them with data, to sell them data.
Really?
So it's not, I mean, of course, like, this probably costs a lot of infrastructure to run. So
Yeah.
it's not weird that they're looking for ways to monetize it. But I mean, end of the day, this is just a huge copyright breach, right?
Yeah. I mean, for sure.
The question is if it's a problem, in a sense that, like, if I look at myself, and I'll explain this from 20 years ago when I was way younger, and all of these things have been expired by now. If I ever did anything illegal. But when I used things like
LimeWire,
for example, or what was their OG? I forget.
I don't remember.
The big one before that, Napster.
Napster, yeah.
Um,
Never used Napster, actually.
or torrents or things like that. I think it's also a way to know that these artists are out there, right? Like, if I wouldn't have access to this, like, I wouldn't have had the money to buy something in the store at that point.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Right? But I was able to appreciate it, and maybe because of that, I bought the music later, or I play it now on Spotify, or I went to a concert, or I'm not sure if it's actually, like, in the grand scheme of things, a problem for the actual artist.
Yeah, I think with the Spotify for artists, I think I've heard a lot that Spotify is not a good deal for artists. It's like, it's a good deal for, like, marketing, quote unquote, right? Like, because people discover them.
You need to be huge to really make money there.
But I heard that even if you make money, it's like if you're that big, you make way more money by touring.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know, like, or by making TV appearances or whatever, right? Like, but like Spotify in itself, they pay very little to the content creators, you know? So I think it's really bad for Spotify, but I think maybe the artists, they're not.
And it's also like, it's such a small fraction of your audience that will have the technical know-how to torrent this. And
Yeah, it's true.
like, I'm not sure how big a problem it is.
It's true. Unless, like, someone that is more technical, they're like, I'm launching free Spotify. But actually, even if you do that, it's like,
well, what you now will of course get is that you're gonna get very good, suddenly players like Suno will become very good because they have very rich training data.
True.
And they're like, it's the other side, right? Like, that doesn't feel good from an ethical point of view, right? Like, they're just.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. I feel like it's something's gonna change. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen, I think there will be good things, there will be bad things. Yeah, I'm not sure actually. I'm not sure because there's a lot of components here, right? Because if someone finds another use for this, maybe their use is good, or maybe their use is not good.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
how are you gonna? I don't know.
What I hope that someone builds is an actual recommendation engine based on this. Like recommendations, Spotify are shit.
Yeah,
like I've been listening to the same garbage for the last 10 years.
Spotify Wrapped is like same.
Horrible.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if it's also a hard problem.
I think it can be better than it is now.
Well, I do think it can be better, but I'm also wondering if it's I do think it's probably a hard problem.
Back in the day, I had YouTube Music before it went to shit. And I think it was way better in recommendation.
Yeah. Okay, then maybe I don't have any. I cannot excuse Spotify anymore. But yeah, let's see what happens. For me, I thought this was. I was very surprised to. As soon as you shared it, I opened it. I was reading it, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
You opened BitTorrent. uTorrent.
No, I read the article that.
Yeah, of course, that's official. Let's go to the next one. What else do we have, Merilo?
We have, let me share this tab here. OpenAI introduced a new ChatGPT Images experience powered by GPT Image 1.5, promising more precise edits, better instruction following, and up to 4 times faster generation. It's rolling out to ChatGPT, or it has already rolled out, with business and enterprise access following, and a revamped creation space for workflows. So it's a new image model now. I looked, well,
yeah,
do you want to share actually your test trial?
Yeah, we'll do that. I'm gonna quickly.
So while we do this, I'll just go over a bit over the things that they mention here. So it's a new image model, right? You can use with API or on ChatGPT. Apparently it's better at a lot of stuff, right? Like editing, saying like, okay, put these 3 images together in one picture. And the example here is like two people and also like iterating a bit, like saying, okay, do this, do that, include this, don't include that. Following instructions. So if you give like a long prompt, it's better at keeping track of all the things that you need to do. And there are also the text, making sure that the text in the images are actually actual text and not just gibberish. Yeah, and some other stuff. There are some regressions that they noted, which I thought it was also interesting. For example, styles. Apparently this before used to be better. So the new one, if you say draw me like a dark fantasy anime, now it looks a bit like a person. And before it actually looked more like an anime.
Yeah.
So there are some stuff that used to be better, which I thought it was nice that they were very transparent about it as well.
In my opinion, this is the second best image generation model. I think Nano Banana still, the Pro is still better.
Yeah.
I've sent you a link over WhatsApp. So maybe if you're a bit into this like LLM benchmark scene, you know the Pelican test, Pelican on a bike test, right? This comes from Pelican on a bike comes from Simon Willis, I want to say. Is that correct?
Maybe. Let me check.
Simon Willison.
Yeah.
And he basically, when a new LLM comes out, he says, draw me a pelican riding a bike. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's horrible.
To this guy, yeah. Simon Willison's,
yeah. And what we've been doing, Marilo really asked me to do this. over the course of the last 3-4 versions of image generation models. So what we do now, our protocol is that I paste in Marilo's image. Maybe you can share it on the screen. Do you have it?
I'm just building the courage to.
No, it's if you go up a little bit.
I cannot.
Oh, you cannot. But it's basically like this image of Marilo. If you download it, there's only one image on the whole World Wide Web of Marilo that you can find. This is LinkedIn image. That's the one I use. And then you give this instruction: put this guy on a white horse, shirtless. The guy has long white hairs and is eating a banana. And this is what comes out. And this is honestly like it's on par with Nano Banana Pro, right? This was my very first test with the new image model of ChatGPT.
It is pretty good.
It is pretty good.
It is pretty good. I still think, like, again, I'm a bit picky about that. So we talked on the Nano Banana. We explain how every time we try to generate something with me and Bart's like, okay. And with me, it's always like, not me.
Well, it has very long been the case. Like, if we try to do something with you, you either turn, like you become Chinese or you become Pakistani
or some like nothing. It's not me.
But it's also like, to me, like it's a bit like an NP-hard problem. If you would say to someone out in the street, like, draw this representation of the guy, but keep in mind that this guy is half Japanese, half Brazilian, and make it look like a half Japanese and half Brazilian. No one knows what to draw, right?
That's true. No one knows. Maybe it'll be like Pakistani or something.
But this is the first time, like actually Nano Banana was the first time.
Nano Banana was the first time.
But Nano Banana Pro. The regular one, not even.
Yeah, exactly. True.
Nano Banana Pro was the very first one.
But I think it's like, when I look at this, I can see myself kind of, but like.
It's recognizable.
It is recognizable, but it's not like, if you pay attention.
You've drifted off to Mexican a little bit.
Yeah, a bit, right? Like I don't know, like, I don't think I look bad. I don't know, but there's some about it, like, it's kind of like me, but kind of, it's a bit different. I feel like the other one, the Nano Banana Pro one, I really like, that could be me. And
that you could send to your mother and say,
it'd be like, hey, like, well,
I was riding a horse out of the fields in Belgium.
Exactly. And after I got my nationality, I just went blonde for some reason, it was like, this one, I think she would be like, I think this could be like a brother of mine.
Okay, so how do we call this test? We can't call it the Pelican test.
I'll let you come up with a name for this one.
I'll think about it. On our test, Nano Banana Pro is still the best one.
Yeah, but I would say, like, if Nano Banana is a 10, this is like a solid 9.
Yeah.
It's close. It's very close.
And I think it's a hard enough test, because it's like you start from a picture where you're just clothed.
Yeah.
And then you say, put him on a white horse, eating a banana, long white hair, shirtless. Like, it's a lot of things.
There is a lot of things.
Right?
There's a lot of things. I mean, also ChatGPT made it a bit hard on itself. Huh? Like, it changed a bit the angle, and like also added some wave, like, wind on the hair and stuff.
I would be impressed if this guy's I'm strolling,
just
strolling down the street.
Yeah. But I like that all of them, they kind of give me like a good physique, So,
this is not your physique?
no comment.
It's going in the direction. I heard some rumors at one point about abs. Six-pack. What else do we have? Charlie March of Astro fame announced the beta of TY, I guess it's pronounced, TY, an extremely fast Python type checker and language server written in Rust, aiming to speed up feedback for large codebases. The release invites early testing and comparisons, signaling another push for high-performance tooling from the creator of Rough and UV.
Yes. So I think this is the first Astral tool. So don't get me wrong, I actually quite like the Astral tools. I like Rough. I like UV.
You like it rough. Okay, sorry. Okay, let's continue.
Let's keep the show.
Yeah, sorry. So let's keep it professional.
I like the tool Rough.
Yeah.
I like UV. I haven't tried TY yet, but TY is the first tool that I'm like, that would be nice if we had a tool written in Rust about this. Like, it's the first tool that I'm like, performance is an issue.
Maybe explain a bit for the audience what is a type checker?
Yeah, so a type checker. So basically in Python, things are not typed, right? Like everything's dynamic. So when you run, like if you have x is equal to blah, blah can be a number, can be a string, can be whatever, and it's not gonna complain to you when you try to run it, right? What it will complain is if it's actually a number and you try to do things that you want, like you put this number in uppercase, then it's gonna be like, you cannot do this. But it's only a runtime. Python, they released also type hints. So basically, it's something that is more for people to see. It doesn't influence necessarily the runtime. Just to say, hey, I'm creating this variable x, and this is going to be an integer, right? And you say, oh, it's an integer. Okay, cool. So I'm going to know, and maybe
informative.
It's informative, right? But that's why they even call it hints, because it's just like a hint. Even if I say, oh, this number is an integer, but actually I write hello world, that's still okay. Like the program still runs.
You could theoretically pass it. At runtime might give an error.
Might give an error runtime.
The program will start.
Exactly, exactly. And basically you have static type checkers. So static because it's not when the program is running. It's like it just looks at the files and says, hey, this is a number, and you're trying to do later on, you're trying to do something that you would do in a string. There's an error. Or maybe you're trying to add a number and a string. That's not okay. And these things can get actually very complicated, because a lot of times you see variables that are like, this can be a number, a string, or anything that has this method, right? And basically, they're type checkers that kind of go through your whole program and they see how the things interact with each other. And they see if there are any violations, anything that could go wrong, right? And then it gets a bit tricky. So, for example, maybe there are functions that they can return none, which is a type in itself, but they never do really, because the way that your program is called, the way it's set up, that would never happen. But because the function is set up like this, it can actually break stuff down the line. So it can get very tricky. And the very popular one, I think that maybe the first one is MyPy.
If you're a Python developer, you've probably heard of MyPy.
Exactly. I think so too. Then since then there was like Pyrite, which I think is from Facebook.
No, the one above is from Facebook.
Firefly.
Oh, I want to say Pyrite is from Microsoft. But
I think you're right. I think you're right. I think Pyrite is from Microsoft. And then Firefly came out actually like close release, like the first announcement. I think I heard it close to Thai as well. And Thai is like the new one from Astro, and it's written in Rust, so it's actually very fast. And MyPy is the first of the Astro tooling that I see the point of writing something in Rust, because even when Rust came out,
because MyPy is slow on large code bases, right?
It is, and they try to do a lot of caching, try to do a lot of stuff like this, but the reality is it is slow. When Rough came out, so Rough is like a linter, right? I was like, okay, it's cool, but I never really had that as an issue, right? Even though now I use it and I do. Now that it's faster, I do feel like I would miss it if I went back. Same thing for UV. But Thai, I think it's one that a lot of people already felt the pain before. So I'm happy that they're sharing this. This is still beta, meaning that you shouldn't look at this as like something production. You should expect issues, right? But it should have a good coverage with MyPy. Maybe I'll share this tab instead. And one thing that I also saw that I thought was interesting is that they even released, they even have like, in the type system, they actually added a few things that is not in Python. So it's actually a superset of Python type hints. Where is it? There was one thing about like, for example, intersections. If you want something to be A and B, that's not something you can do with Python. Like just the built-in things. Yeah, intersection types. And actually, where is it? Thai? Yeah, here. So they actually added like in Thai extensions, you can import intersection and you can create a new type that is an intersection between two things. So basically one thing is one and the other. So Thai is not just a replacement of MyPy. It doesn't just work with the standard type hints, but they're also adding new things on top of that, including like a language server, right? So one of the nice things about type hints is that if you're in the IDE, right, and you hover over a variable, the IDE can tell you more information about this, and that's done by a language server. So they also release a language server with this. And again, for language servers, it's very speed is also a big deal, right? So I'm quite excited about this. Let's see.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm sometimes there's a very large potential user base for this. Well, Python developers, right? But at the same time, it's still a very niche tool, and in that sense, I'm sometimes I wonder, like, would these teams, would it not be better for them to cooperate?
Cooperate how?
Like you have Microsoft, you have Meta doing this, you have Astral doing this. Like, should you not put a few more eggs in a few less baskets?
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, but maybe at the same time, it's like I wonder if they have this, for example, like written in Rust or written in another language. That's a big decision, right? And maybe spreading a bit, you also reduce the risk, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not sure. One thing that you mentioned when I shared this was monetization from Astro, right?
Yeah, I'm very curious what their path to monetization is.
So Astro, maybe Astro is the company behind all these three tools that we mentioned.
And they raised, from memory, like I want to say between 8 and 12 million 2-ish years ago.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, at some point that needs to turn into some monetization.
And everything they're building now is open source.
Everything they're building now is open source, as far as I know.
As far as I know, like even like you can use it, whatever. You can do whatever you want with it, basically.
as far as I know, they also don't do any consulting. Maybe I'm wrong there.
Yeah.
But at some point, they do need to monetize. Like, will it be consulting? Will they build a service around tooling, which I think is super hard to do? Because then you're basically gonna say we're gonna set with our tool set, like we're gonna make CI/CD for Python like super easy, super good developer experience, but like which enterprise, because you need an enterprise to actually buy such licenses, like which enterprise is going to buy something specifically for Python? That's already a very small group. Maybe they will sell off some of their assets to someone else that can monetize, that has a bigger ecosystem. Yeah, and I don't know. Like, I'm very curious to see what they will do 5 years from now.
Well, I do think it's good for the community in any case, right? Because these things are open source, they're on GitHub. So I feel like even if they don't have a happy path, let's say,
Yeah.
there's a lot that is done already
True,
in
yeah,
the community,
definitely.
which is
Yeah.
good. But I agree with you. I think maybe
But it would be a pity if the company at some point fails because they don't have a path to monetization.
Yeah. I see what
Because
you're
like you're saying, they're doing a lot of good things for the community.
saying. Exactly. And the stuff that they're building, it looks good, huh?
Yeah.
Like UV, I feel like it's a bit the standard, rough.
Very
standard.
quickly became
Exactly.
a lot of the tools very quickly became the standard.
Exactly. So it's like it's a good. They seem to be well designed, well thought out, So indeed, it would be a pity. Maybe one other thing that I just mentioned here, like I just saw, they also have a PyX, so PYX, Python Native Package Registry.
Oh, that might be interesting. Yeah, I didn't know. This is also very like August 13th. I also missed this.
I missed this as well.
That could be a good path to monetization. So if they have their own native package registry, that's something that they can offer to large enterprises with
Exactly.
like an internal registry that is safe and tested.
Yeah.
And
So maybe
it's a bit maybe the Anaconda's route then.
Yeah, indeed.
With a bit of a different approach
Yeah. So maybe here on the announcement, PyX is the Python native package registry and the first piece of the Astro platform, our next generation infrastructure for the Python ecosystem.
There we have it.
So I think this probably can shed some light. So yeah, I think it could be more secure, GPU aware, private packages, public sources. So could be something interesting. Indeed.
Yeah, curious to see what they will do because it's not easy to find. I think product market fits with like a infrastructure for Python.
Yeah.
Platform.
Yeah, it's true. Especially when you have like tools and like it's not a service, right? It's just like something you just use. But I think also becoming the standard for Python ecosystem. I think if you release something like this,
like I can't mention another company that has in recent years has been done so many things that have all become the standard in the community. Like for that, they have a huge, like a very strong track record, right?
That's true. And I think also if you're using UV, using all these things, and you have the option to go for these different package registries, right? I think it's
so. If anyone can surprise us with a go-to-market, it's them, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, cool. I mean, we'll keep an eye out, right? Let's see what happens. And next, what do we have? It's my turn, no?
Yes.
So next, we have alpr.watch maps city and county meetings where automated license plates, readers, facial recognition, or flock safety appear on agendas so residents can see surveillance decisions in motion. It scans public documents for keywords and pins them on a live map with options to report cameras or get local alerts. So what is this about, Bart?
Well, this is a link I came across on Hacker News. ALPR stands for
I think it's automatic license plate recognition.
Yeah. Well, apparently there's a whole vigilante group that is very against automated license plate recognition. I didn't know that this was something that we were angry about. I think this is something that just happened in Belgium, right? Like no one really.
I think so.
No one really.
I think so.
No one really questioned this for some reason. But of course, like they theoretically they can know wherever you are when you drive somewhere.
Yeah, I think also not just that. Like if they take pictures and if someone in the car, like actually, like I think in Germany they just send the picture as well to your with the if you go over the speed limit, they take a picture, they send you the picture as well.
It's always a bad picture of me.
Yeah, but it's like I mean,
picking my nose or
sleeping. Yeah, but like it can also be a bit I don't know, right? Like what if you're I don't know.
Who did you have sitting next to you?
I have Maria, like my wife, but like actually
that was a very quick answer.
Sure, but like, cause actually for the picture they had like they cropped the box, right? So I thought they always did this, but I was talking to a colleague and she was saying like, no, it's a big issue because she was driving, she was supposed to be doing this because the parents didn't know when the car was registered at the parents' house, and it was like it was this whole thing, right? Which again, like maybe it's not the biggest deal. I mean, maybe there are also use cases here and there, or maybe some circumstances, right? Like it's a bit sensitive.
And the website is also broader. I think it started from ALPRs. Now they also focus on facial recognition, block cameras. I don't know what they are.
Me neither.
Basically, any surveillance tech that potentially like decreases privacy. What I found interesting is actually the way that they do it. Like it's a bit like their counter attack is also using data to make things visible.
Sure.
In a very smart way. Like they use meetings from local councils and do a lot of automated data exploration to see like if any of these measures are being discussed and what the discussion is, to basically be aware, and so that you can also, if you are aware, you can if you want, influence this decision making process.
Yeah,
and I thought it was a very interesting way to do this, and like translating that to Belgium. I don't even know if council meetings are public here. The reports of that, like I've never seen anything being done with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I thought this, like in general, when it comes to open data that government publishes, I'm always a bit like underwhelmed of what you can actually do with it. But like this is, to me, is a very strong use case. Like you can actually learn something here. Like you can learn here how policy around these topics is being formed and in what stages they are. Like this is a very smart way to tackle this.
I think also when they did this, so I mean, I'm showing here a map, right? When they have a whole bunch of like gray exclamation marks, which was where this was discussed in the past, which maybe by in itself, it's already interesting to see where this is discussed more than other places. But you see like what's current, what's in the past. But I guess like they wanted, like, what I understood is like a bit to promote a bit like people protesting, like if you don't believe this, like go with your neighborhood and like try to pressure the politicians to not pass these things. I think I saw, and I'm not sure if I'm making this up or if you show me or something, that there were some of the, I think in the European Commission, some sessions that are live streamed. They are, right?
Yeah.
And there was like a system that was to check if the politicians were on their phone.
Oh, yeah. And I didn't show you, but
and so like, and then actually like if someone was on their phone, it was automated to tag them on Twitter, saying like, and with a screenshot.
Oh, nice.
Just be like, hey, stop! Like, don't be on your phone anymore. Like, I need to find it. Maybe I'll share it like next time. But like, I thought that was also fun. That was also another fun use of this data. So yeah, really cool.
This would be better for picking nose. Like
yeah.
Recognize nose picking.
Clean your nose, clean your hand. Your nose, like that would be where I am. So yeah, cool, and a lot of different stats here, right? What else? What's next, Bart?
We have two more. OpenAI, yet again. OpenAI opened app submissions for ChatGPT and launched an in-product app directory, putting third-party tools a click away in conversations. Submissions are reviewed for safety and quality. Link outs are allowed initially, and the first approved apps will roll out in the new year as monetization options evolve.
So, what are these apps on ChatGPT?
I haven't used them yet. There are, for example, Lovable already published their app, and you can basically use them in the sense that you can add them. Like you can use an @ sign and then say add Lovable. Can you build this prototype for me?
In your ChatGPT
interface. Or you can say, I'm just thinking out loud here, or you can say, at Amazon, I would like to have this and this delivered by Thursday.
I see.
And to me, this is huge news.
It is?
This can change the internet. Like, to me, this is their big bet, their big platform bet. They have 800 million users that have ChatGPT installed.
True.
If they can find the right offering, and I think a lot of companies are willing to develop apps for ChatGPT because it's a potentially useful.
Yeah.
I don't think it's too far-fetched that this will become, like ChatGPT will become like a huge channel all on its own, and people will not have to leave ChatGPT.
True. That's very true.
And I was looking up the stats, like apparently in the world, because we often think, or I often think about like, how are you going to the internet? And then of course you discuss like you have browsers, but browsers are more or less always the same, right? Like there's not really a big difference. But then you talk about like device, and then it's like it's either your computer or your mobile or tablet, right? To me, this could be like something new, like you only use ChatGPT.
Yeah, like that's your way to interact.
That's your way to interact. And I think like for us, it will probably not be the case because we're also not the audience that will just do that, right? Like we use our tablet and we use our computer and we use our mobile and we use all these different channels and we use ChatGPT as just another app, right?
Yeah.
But apparently in the world there are, I looked up these stats, there are 40% of people that only access the internet via their tablet or mobile.
100%.
40%.
Oof, that's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And like, I think that ChatGPT, even though it's not a device, like it can be like a concrete new channel for potential a big audience.
It's true.
Because if the main thing that you do is on the internet, like, and I'm ignoring social apps here, right? I'm ignoring social apps. And the internet is the world where you, like, maybe you read news, maybe you do some shopping, maybe you check your emails. Like, theoretically, you could all do that, right? Through an app.
True, very true. I'm even wondering if social media, to what extent could you also...
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. There's a lot you can do there. And I feel like, and then how the monetization would work for ChatGPT in this scenario. Is this transparent? Because...
Well, to me, that's relatively easy in a sense, like, but it all stands or falls, like, can they get a large enough user base on this that is dedicated enough? Because if they can, it's a simple monetization as the App Store does for Apple or the Play Store does for Google, where Apple goes as far as saying 30% of every transaction is for us, which is huge, right?
Yeah.
It's huge, and like everybody thinks it's way too much, but like no one has a choice because the users are there.
Yeah. I searched, but then, like, do you think there's also the risk of this is a good strategy?
I'm not saying it's a good thing, huh? I'm not saying it's a good thing, by the way.
Yeah. But like, let's imagine that this strategy is successful for OpenAI. And Gemini starts doing this. You know, like, I'm wondering if...
But no one knows Gemini. You and I know Gemini.
Yeah, that's true.
But the random person you see on the street doesn't know Gemini. Maybe they heard it now because Nano Banana was on the news.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I'm wondering, like, still, like, on the I mean, I see your point, and I do think there's a lot of potential, and I think this could be a very big way for OpenAI to bring money in, basically. But I'm also wondering, like, what's the growth of that? Like, how do you keep... How do you stay ahead in that, this is how people use the internet? Because things will evolve, right? Like, things will change, right?
Yeah, well, it's a big bet, of course, but you could say this like Amazon created e-commerce, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Maybe OpenAI will create the AI-powered internet.
Yeah, that's...
And again, I'm not saying I think it's a good thing, but I think like if one of these players could do it, I think they could do it.
Well, I think OpenAI is the best position to do this today, right?
And it's clear, like, what the steps that they're taking is clearly the direction that they're thinking. Like, we're all already seen, like, closer integration of I think it was Shopify, right? Like Shopify, they were with Etsy,
commerce protocol. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. I was listening to a podcast, actually, someone that was using Sora, the social media thing. I think we talked about this, no? How they wanted to create Sora like a social media kind of platform where everything is just generated by Sora. And actually, the podcaster guy, like, I think he was being interviewed or something, but like, he was actually very positive about it.
Yeah.
He said it was really fun because also what the thing that bothers him is like when people are trying to sell AI slop as original content, but like everything is AI generated.
Yeah, you don't have this dichotomy of like is this authentic or is this being faked or is this
which takes a bit away the like this person's trying to trick me vibe.
Yeah, it takes
right. It's it's all transparent. That gave a nice vibe.
That's a fair point, actually. Yeah.
You know, it's about creative, about being goofy, about like you put yourself doing funny things or put yourself in a movie or something. You know, so it actually, like, that person was really, really positive about this. Still not 100% convinced, but maybe actually, like, and I think we have one more, but maybe because it's a bit linked with, I don't know if we put it on the tidbits, with the flamingo picture?
Oh no, I didn't.
You didn't. But maybe we can like it may be in line of that, right? Like, so basically they entered a photograph AI generated competition for images. He actually
a competition for AI generated images.
Yes, but his entry was actually a real picture of a flamingo,
and it was a picture of a flamingo without basically a neck and a head.
Yeah,
but it was like it had its neck tucked in under its wing on the other side of the body, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
But it looked like a flamingo without a head. It looked very AI generated.
Yeah, and it's actually a real picture.
She won. I think it was a woman.
Oh, okay. Let's see if I can find it.
And well, at the end they were disqualified, which also like was okay because like they broke the rules. It was a bit. It's interesting to see these things.
Yeah, I found it here, and it was like also.
It was on purpose. It was a bit to trigger like a thought process, right?
Exactly.
What is creativity?
It's a bit like almost like not protest, right? But like a bit like everyone's all hyped up about AI, but
a tongue-in-cheek protest.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, lighthearted, right? But it's more like so I'm just showing the article here for people, right? And it kind of shows a bit the story, like, okay, I was doing this and I saw this, and I took the picture and yada yada. Kind of like saying like, okay, even though we're in this AI world and AI is all the hype, first, real pictures are better, and second, people still crave a bit that, like there is still something about the real pictures that AI cannot recreate. So I thought it was quite refreshing as well. And yeah, thinking of social media and Sora and all these things, I think it can be fun, but I also think that it will never take away from the real content, right? Not the AI slop. All right, and last but not least, we have Toad. Is it my turn?
I think it is, yeah.
I think it's my turn.
Let's say it is.
So Will McGugan unveiled Toad, a terminal app that unifies AI coding agents under a single UI using the Agent Client Protocol, aiming to make agentic workflows feel native to the shell. At launch, it supports 12 agent CLIs and adds niceties like markdown streaming and fuzzy file inserts. So Will McGugan, he's the guy behind Rich, or the guy that created Rich.
Rich and Textual, right?
And Textual later. And he actually had a startup.
Which is very famous for Python-based TUIs.
Exactly. TUI is like
textual user interface.
Textual user interface. So it's like basically a UI in your terminal.
Yeah.
Right? Actually, TUI is terminal user interface.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So basically, he just kind of introduces Toad, which actually is a wordplay on textual code.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what he put there. The way I saw this, it's kind of like a ID, but for your terminal.
Well, the way I saw it.
Oh, okay. How did you see it?
Is that this is an alternative to Claude Code or Codex or Gemini CLI or Vibe from Mistral, but then provider agnostic.
Yeah, but that's also why I thought like of IDE a bit, like for the agentic coding kind of thing. So it's like you have the same.
It's a richer interface indeed than the
ones
that I use.
But it's like if you like, you can the same. How can I? For example, you can use Visual Studio with Claude. You can use Zed with GitHub with Copilot, GitHub Copilot. Okay. Like there are different IDEs that you can still have the same models behind, right? So in the end of the day, it's not that the model is better. It's more like the experience around it, right? Yeah. Like, is it intuitive that this pops up here, or when I want to add this to context, like cursor, VS Code, like all these things, like they have the same capabilities AI wise, but it's just a different interface, right? Which can make a big difference.
Different TUI.
A different TUI, exactly. And I feel like this is kind of how I felt this, but it's more narrow. It's for agentic coding, so it's really just for Claude Code and all these things. But you can swap as well, right? So you can do Gemini CLI, Codex, Claude Code.
Exactly. You basically have the single UI across multiple providers.
Exactly. And so there are a few things that he also added, right? Like he wanted to make this feel a bit more like the browser. So if you put like the exclamation mark, that's just shell command, basically. If you have these dynamic applications like htop, right, which kind of shows the usage of your PC, you can actually do this in Toad and it won't break anything. Like you will parse everything nicely. The images will be there. If you want to add files, also auto completion as well. So if you want to run a command, you can just like tab and it will complete for you. So there's some nice things. Maybe the last one here, he kind of borrowed this from notebooks as well, that you can go up on like different it's not a cell, right? But like different conversation messages, and you can actually copy stuff to your clipboard, right? So there's some nice things. For example, markdown formatting as well. There, like it also formats the markdown as you're typing, so it has nice colors and all these different things. Some interesting stuff. I was also wondering because for you, you mentioned one time that you think that agentic coding you should not use the IDE. You should just stick to the terminal. Did you said that? No,
I said it.
you said that. How do you feel about Toad, or do you feel like this is not really that useful? Maybe one last thing that I think it could be interesting, yeah. Like if you also want to add files to it, you can just use the add, and you can actually parse through the whole, like the tree, right? To find the files, it's easier to inject it in the context. And maybe one thing as well that he added, you can actually use your cursor. So if you want to click on stuff, like click on directories and stuff, you can do that on the terminal, which
yeah, and difficult to answer this. I think it's good that it exists. I think it's always cool to see what we'll build. I think you can learn a lot by using this tool, by exploring different providers to see how they function. I'm not a fan of making the TUI too rich, maybe to give too much options. I think it gets cluttered very quickly. Very much a fan of, at this moment in time, at least, how something like Claude Code or Codex works,
And
which is quite minimal, right?
And they're kind of a bit the same. Like it's not like if you go from Claude Code to Codex that it's very different. The experience is not very. It's like
Exactly, exactly. More of a gripe with Gemini. That's maybe also something that McGugan here gets annoyed by. It's like Gemini. If you copy paste certain stuff, like they have ASCII signs in, like on the sides, and like it gets messy quickly. But it's an easy fix, I guess. The thing is, if you are willing to pay for the provider at this point, you're going to go for the best one. And at this point in time, you're probably going to go for Claude. And
Gemini CLI is there a nice free tier? There is no for Google users.
I don't know if there is a free tier. Well, there was not one when it was just released, Gemini 3.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe there's a cheaper model that they can use for free. But not the state-of-the-art one. So the CLI for Claude Code, like go for there. I would go there because it also, like, if there's any proprietary integrations that only Claude provides, it's very hard to support it through an open ecosystem. So yeah, I'm a bit. I think it's good for the community that these things exist. I don't see myself switching very quickly, but I'm also not like the guy's, of course, very passionate about TUIs. He talks about what he calls terminal yank, like that you have these flickering and all these other CL, they flicker, and the redraw approaches.
Yeah, he's very passionate about
and
this.
I've never seen it, right? Like it's not a thing. Like it's
also like the different colors, all the range of colors, and all these different things.
And it's very good that we have these people.
Yeah,
because they do bring us forward. I honestly believe that, but I don't think that I personally will very quickly switch to this tool.
But also, like, because and that's also what I was curious, because you like when you said agentic coding should be on the IDE and not the IDE, on the terminal, on the CLI, and not on the IDE, but it is because there's less stuff, there's less clutter on the way.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So it's like if you add too much stuff on the terminal, it kind of defeats the point of going to the terminal for you.
For me, and another issue, kind of linked with that I have an issue that I have with TUIs. When they try to do too many things, you need to start to learn so many shortcuts, and it's very specific often to that. So it becomes like, if you want to be a power user in that tool, you can be very good, but you need to be dedicated enough to become a power user in that tool.
Yeah. Best case, you turn into Vim.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. No, but I see what you're saying as well. I think
and Vim is super strong if you are a power user.
Yeah.
And otherwise, it's like as simple as like Nano as an editor, right?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, maybe you take a bit longer, but also like how often are you in Nano that you really need to be that? You know, it's like, yeah, like I know Vim you can go quite far with Vim. So yeah, that is it for today. We do have some tidbits. Do you want to go over them, Bart, or should I?
Yeah, go. Well, let's keep it short because we're a little bit squeezed for time, right?
We'll keep it short. So maybe skills. So that was Claude skills, right? Like it was released by Anthropic, and now Anthropic released as an official standard, quote unquote. So it has its own website, right? It's maintained by Anthropic, but it's meant to be for the community. Similar idea as MCP. And actually, I wonder as well if like skills is becoming the new MCP. Like I feel like a lot of people actually prefer skills over MCP. Like it's a better design. So I'm curious how that's going to evolve, especially because MCP was donated to the Linux Foundation and all these things.
Yeah, I think what we will see. So maybe for people that are not familiar, so skills is like really like a written description of how to perform a task.
Yeah,
right? Like,
and it can have some code as well attached to it, no?
Yeah, it can have some code as well, and it can also say like, if you need to generate a PDF, use this code that is attached, use it in this way, and call it in that way with these parameters, and execute it there, right? With MCP, it's basically a wrapper around something. And I think what we will see towards features at MCP will, I think where MCPs are very valuable is like as a wrapper around an API, a random API, like a programmatic API of a SaaS or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And for the more local or simpler or also more complex things, like that are basically not an API, I think skills will be used.
Yeah, I think it's like if the stuff you're trying to do sits on the other side, like we saw MCP servers for Snowflake or for like the London Stock Exchange, right? You cannot do skills with that.
Yeah.
Right. Like you need the data is on that side, like all the infrastructure, the services
That's
there.
a good way maybe to look at it. Yeah.
Right. And I think
theoretically you could, because you could describe it but it becomes very complex to set up. And
I think so. I think like if something needs to run on that side, then a server like MCP server makes sense. And if it's just like a function, if it's just something like this, then I think it makes sense to have skills. So I think they can coexist. But I also think it's nice that this again, OpenAI also adopted this officially, right? So another big step there for this.
Exactly. It was rumored with 5.2 that they used it, and now they officially announced it. Yeah.
Yes. So very cool. Next, we have Claude for Chrome. So this was released.
This was released yesterday, I want to say, or the day before? No, the day before.
I think it was the day before. Yeah, let me check.
And it's basically a browser extension, a Chrome browser extension, where you can let Claude control your browser. And I was hopeful, but it's as shitty as all the other AIs in the browser.
I was hopeful also because maybe it like uses the DOM, and maybe the DOM is code, and the Claude models are better with code, and that's the hope.
Yeah,
the delusion I told myself.
So I actually had a use case. So I thought, oh, Claude released something. It must be good, right? I immediately installed it, and I had I can discuss whether this is privacy sensitive or not, whether it was risky what I did. But I asked it to check my Gmail. Because I had a meeting on Monday morning, this morning, in Leuven, and I wanted to verify what time it was. That is in my head. I thought you check it in my agenda, but actually I just installed Claude Code. Let's try. Yeah. And I'm not kidding. Like, it tried for 30 minutes. It very quickly opened Gmail, but then like it couldn't find the mail. And then it found the mail, but it couldn't find, like, it's a thread. Like, it couldn't find the message in the thread. And yeah, fuck, right?
What?
Yeah, like, yeah, no, right?
Yeah, no.
I really was expecting more.
Yeah,
but again, like, it's of course it's a sample size of one, but it's not this sample size of one is not encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think we need a Pelican on a bike for this one as well to try for them. You know, like what is a good task? You know.
I need to think about it.
Yeah, we need to think about this, but maybe we can do a quick rundown. You know, just like open the 3 browsers.
Privacy sensitive to every time, like, let them go through my Gmail.
Yeah, that's true. We'll think of something.
Yeah, we'll think of something.
What else we have? We have Lovable, raised a lot of money again.
Lovable raised
330 million at 6.6 billion valuation.
Yeah, crazy amount. Yeah, impressive. I very much wonder where Lovable is 5 to 10 years from now. Let's say 5-10 years from now. What they're very good at, you can't deny them that. Like, they are extremely good at go-to-market. They were viral prototyping tool. If you very quickly want to build an app, if you're not a developer, you know of Lovable.
For sure.
They're extremely good at marketing.
That's what I was thinking, because like it feels like they're ahead, But like there are other tools as well. Like we talk, what was the one?
A lot of tools, like Google has their own.
Google has their own, but like everyone thinks of Lovable. And like I saw a few people that built a few different things on different tools, and I didn't get the clear like, oh yeah, Lovable is much better.
I think that you could say that UI-wise, it looks a bit more fancy from the get-go. I think you could say that.
Yeah.
But I hope for them that they have like their tech is defensible enough for the long run.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah. Because like making stuff look a bit more sleek, you can probably.
I have the feeling that what they are doing now will become a commodity before we realize that.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And then next we have Alphabet, so Google, building chips. Well, actually, they were already building chips, right? They were building TPUs, but they're trying to basically get a bit ahead by extending the support of TPUs for PyTorch.
Yeah.
So PyTorch, like I think it uses CUDA, right? So there, if you're using PyTorch, and PyTorch is a framework for building learning models, so neural networks, including LLMs. And if you're building with PyTorch, you kind of had to use CUDA. Like it was very easy on the API. It's just like .2 parentheses CUDA. But now Google is actually working with Meta to bring the support of TPUs to PyTorch.
Native support, basically.
Exactly. So it can be big. Yeah? I think it's nice. I mean, again, why only now? I feel like this is something that could have been done a while ago, right? But I think it could increase the uptake of TPUs for sure.
Yeah, it's if that's like there's another question. Where's Nvidia 5 years from now? I think that is the not $1 million question, and the how many $1 billion question?
Many billions, yeah.
Because you do see a lot of, and no one is really like, you see a lot of initiatives that are trying to build performant chips, and Alphabet with the TPUs is one example, but Amazon has their own, a lot of Chinese players these days. And
actually, I think like them stopping selling chips in China, it's really bad for Nvidia. Like
it's really bad for Nvidia because it basically forces them to start building their own chips.
Exactly.
I think there's rumors now that they have acquired, well, not acquired, stolen. Quote, no, I'm not gonna say stolen. Somehow mimicked the technology of ASML. Ex-employees of ASML have somehow mimicked, sort of simulated the technology to build this, basically this base material for the chips in China. So also there's more competition. So yeah, let's see where Nvidia gets.
And where is the EU in this split? US, China, Europe is
US ASML.
So that's also okay.
The trifecta.
Yeah, indeed. And last but not least, what we have?
McKinsey eyes thousands of job cuts.
And this is AI related as well.
Well, that's what everything thinks, right? Consulting is under a lot of pressure last year. I think a lot of this is probably because there's a big AI hype. And the AI hype means that all big customers are saying, maybe we should wait for investment because AI will probably solve it in the near run for us. So let's maybe wait a little bit. I think you see this effect, just people being cautious with spending money. That has an effect on consulting. But I do think that what is happening also, but not already at the scale that we hear the hype, is that things are getting automated, things are getting displaced, and it's so small, but it adds up over time.
Yeah. I also think, we saw also like for the big consultancy as well, how people are asking for AI break, right? AI reduction, or how to say discount.
Yeah, like discount? If you're my consultant, if you can do this like 25% more efficient because you use AI, then I need to see some of that gain.
Exactly. So I think there was already some question. We also saw the reports from Deloitte, right, that they were using AI and there was some slop in the middle there, which again is normal. Raises a bit like, okay, if you're just using AI to create all these things, then maybe I should just use AI myself.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's no more secret there.
Let's see.
So yeah.
And maybe also to like, because it's an important detail, like for McKinsey at least specifically, like they're initially eyeing non-customer facing jobs.
Okay.
So you could also see like this is maybe like the quote unquote AI effect on.
Yeah, like if they're more efficient, so they need less internal roles for this.
But we don't know, right? Like what the real reason is.
All right. That's it for today.
That's it for this week, and actually also for next week.
For 2025.
This is the last one of 2025.
Yes, we're saying goodbye to 2025. Maybe let me just do some. Any words of wisdom you want to say before we?
No, maybe. When did we do the very first episode this year?
The very first.
I want to say April, but I'm not.
Let's see. Yeah, I can go here. The very first episode.
Next page already. Oh, you already need to click next page, huh?
Yeah, so many. Our first episodes, May.
Okay.
May 6th.
May 6th. We're now, I want to say 25 episodes in, something like that, right?
Something like that, yeah. 28.
28. And we're already have an audience.
Exactly, we do.
Right? We went over 4,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Exactly.
That is cool.
That is really cool.
Roughly these weeks, like we easily cross 10K views and listens across channels.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. It's really, I think, it's been really cool to see. Like it was a big uptake. I think also we had some interesting guests. I think.
Yeah, we started with the interviews. We already have some interesting ideas for interviews for next year. It's actually, the interviews were a lot of fun, right?
I think so.
It's a bit finding the time to fit everything in.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think also we went from podcast to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, newsletter. So I feel like we've done quite a lot of stuff. And I think we also found a nice tempo that it doesn't like, I think the only reason why we're able to do these things is because it's not like it takes such a toll, right? I feel like we can carry on our day to day. So, which I think is also important.
Yeah, true.
Right, finding a balance, like, okay, we're gonna edit these things, but maybe we should spend more time here, but maybe that, like, okay, maybe we can do this a bit more efficient. I think it's also important.
Yeah. Now, and we have some ideas. Maybe that's a bit early. I want to say we have some ideas for an actual event next year.
Yes, we do. That is true.
Maybe it's a bit too early, but maybe we can say what we're thinking about without promising it.
I think that's a good Christmas gift.
It's good to put a bit of pressure on ourselves as well.
It's true. Keep us accountable. Yeah.
So what do we want to do?
You please.
So the idea is that we are here locally at least, but we will record everything.
Yeah.
And like share it like we usually do with a long format episode and shorts. But we want to do a local event for either young startups or aspiring founders to pitch their ideas and basically bring this entrepreneurial and investment community a bit together.
Exactly.
For very early stage companies.
So people that are like, they have an idea, they want to hear thoughts, or maybe like just to share some cool stuff, or get people excited, or like have a bit of a platform where they can get more visibility, get a bit of the spotlight there, right? So
and we'll try to also have this idea that we have people that actually, like, the audience can also be part of the jury, but we need to see like how we make it that we try to find the right people for that, right? It's not that easy.
Yeah.
And also like to make it very easy to network, right? Like something as simple as like my name sticked on my t-shirt, or like maybe my name in a certain color if I'm looking for a co-founder or something like that. We're thinking about these ideas.
Like you're looking for someone to help you to go on these things. You have a nice idea, but maybe you're looking for help, or maybe you're looking for help from still a lot of things there. But stay tuned. And I think that's a wrap for 2025.
Yeah, and now with all the money that we made from the podcast, we can go out for dinner.
We're gonna have like water. No, but thanks everyone for following us this year, 2025.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It was a great journey.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Bart, as well.
Thank you, Marilla.
Merry Christmas to everyone, and Happy New Year. We'll see each other in early next month.
See you in the next year.
Ciao.